All right, all right, all right. Hey guys, welcome. It's Adam and Michelle Carey, and this is a recording. We did our best to attempt a live interview with Mr. Rob Sperry, our first interview for the Don't Be That Guy series, and we had to say we had tech problems would be an understatement.
It was kind of overwhelming, yeah?
It was overwhelming. So let's get Mr. Rob Sperry back on, and he should be joining us here at one moment.
You could get rid of the comment section so we have more.
Let's see. How do I do that? Rob, welcome back, sir.
Can you guys hear me?
Can you get rid of that? I can hear you loud and clear. Can you get rid of the comments? Miss
That's all right.
Beautiful Michelle. All right, we are good to go, man. So it's just us and nothing too complicated. So we're going to be uploading this. If you're watching this on Facebook or on YouTube or on a website somewhere, we are Adam and Michelle Carey. We are entrepreneurs, network marketing professionals, and the best-selling authors of the book, Don't Be That Guy in Network Marketing. And inside the book, we cover the 21 common mistakes that will cause you or someone you know to get labeled as that guy. Now, the term that guy is not a good term. If you are not familiar with the term, you can ask a teenager or refer to the Urban Dictionary that says the person that everybody loves to hate and never wants to become. Now, obviously, we don't hate you, Rob. We love you. You're an amazing leader, father, husband, and you're an advocate for our profession. And the reason Rob's on here is because we think, well, John Maxwell said this. I heard it last week when we were, or a couple weeks ago when we were in Atlanta. John Maxwell says, if you want to impress people, you share success stories. If you want to impact people, you share failures and what you learned and how you overcame that. And so that's why we've got Rob on the line here today to share some of the times he was that guy. Now, if you don't know Rob Sperry, we got connected recently online. That's a beautiful thing about social media. We met at a conference, at a generic training conference, and we've stayed in touch. And some of the accolades this man has acquired are super impressive.
Yeah.
At 28 years old, you had done what, over $2 million in revenue, Rob, and your company reached the highest rank in 1 year. And you've done a whole lot more that I probably don't know about. But let's just, why don't you first off say hello to everybody, where you are tuning in from, and just a little bit about you personally first.
Absolutely. I'm tuning in from Lehigh, Utah. I am in the capital of network marketing, in the Mecca.
You are.
Where I literally, no joke, the exit off the freeway where my house is, there's 5 other network marketing companies. So I could go off to my balcony right now and pull out the binoculars and, check them out, see what's going on. Sometimes I'll go to lunch just randomly or movies or whatever. I'm like, oh, there's so-and-so, like big network marketing leader in another company. And so my story is that, in the sense that I grew up in Utah. So I felt like network marketing is one of those things you do when things are really, really bad. So you're kind of like, is it that bad for you?
Last resort.
Oh, they got duped. Like, I can't believe that. And so much so that I actually said no to 11 different network marketing companies before I joined. And I got so adamant that I had friends that invited me to a network marketing meeting about a month before I started, which was 2008. I started in August 2008. And they invited me, and they were promoting their company, and their company at that time was promoting a chocolate. And these are my best friends in the world. And I'm thinking in my mind exactly what you guys say. That's why it's so ironic. Like, for me, my biggest fear was I never wanted to be labeled as that guy. So I'm like, I just can't do network marketing. And that was the perception that I had, because so many people are that guy. So I'm like, that's how I felt like you had to do it in order to be successful. So my friends call me up, and I'm like, hey, look, like, I know you guys are promoting chocolate and you're excited, but, and I'm typically not rude. Sometimes I'll be blunt, but I always usually, like, I'll tell them why. I try to communicate it well, and I was rude, and I feel bad about it now. And I said, look, don't ever call me again about Willy Wonka's chocolate factory. I have no interest at all. And then a month later, I end up joining network marketing, and I'm like, crap. And I called one person my first 2 days because I was so scared of being that guy, and I didn't know what to say. I'm like, geez, they're going to ask, what is it? I'm going to have to tell them. What do I do? Do I trick them? I don't want to trick them. So all these thoughts are going through my head, and I wish I would have had your guys' book. I've read your guys' book, phenomenal book. I started reading it. Normally start reading, you put it down. I couldn't put it down because you guys find a unique way of making it entertaining while teaching, which is very unique. Most of the time it's either entertainment or technique. It's not both. And so I wish I would have had that book. I wish it were around then, or somebody would have given it to me, but it was 2008. It wasn't around.
We were making
so I get started in the business, and I end up calling my very first person. I shoot the breeze with them, and I start telling them about this thing that I'm looking at. I don't tell them it's network marketing. I don't really tell them anything. And I find after like 20 minutes, this guy's like, so what is it? Like, what are you doing? And I finally tell him it's network marketing. And he's like, oh, cool. He's like, good luck to you. Let me know let me know how you do. And I get off the phone. I think to myself, I'm like, how stupid am I? I got on the call hoping that somehow somebody was going to beg me to do something that I'm not even committed to doing.
Yeah.
So that was the very first mistake that I made. And the interesting part about that story was, then I finally got going and I started calling people. I made a ton of mistakes. One of the other mistakes, and I'll come back to this initial story in a second. That'll be the cliffhanger. I started calling people, and one of the people I called was a good friend. I get him to come to a meeting. They had no idea what it was, like no premise. They didn't know it was network marketing. They didn't know it was product. They didn't know if we were having some pizza party. They had no idea. And at the end of the meeting, the guy looks at me and he's like, so why didn't you just tell me this was network marketing?
Oh, wow.
And I thought to myself, oh my gosh, like I'm making all of my issues everybody else's issues. I'm projecting my issues.
That's good.
Yeah.
And making them even worse. So it was a great learning experience as I learned, like, I just tricked somebody, and like that's not going to work because they're going to think in order to be successful in business, they're going to have to trick people, and in becoming that guy that I didn't want to become. So then I go into another meeting with a very successful realtor, and I start pitching this realtor on why network marketing is not a scam, why it's so great. Like I'm projecting again all my issues, trying to overcome network marketing for almost the entire meeting for an hour. And this female boss, like realtor, super successful. At the very end, she looks at me and she says, I love network marketing. And I thought, and this all happened within my first month. And I thought, geez, like I'm doing everything you possibly can do wrong, but I still ended up having some success. And the main point to that is some of the reasons, and I could go on, and I'll tell a couple more stories on it, is because I took massive action. Now, I don't say this to scare anybody at all. Very few people have ever done this, what I did my first 3 weeks, as far as the amount of action that I took. But once I started, I decided that after that first call, that if I'm going to do this, I've got to commit. And I'm going to make mistakes, but that's the only way I'm going to learn. I can't do the whole, analysis by paralysis, and you're never going to get anywhere. And so what I ended up doing was saying, you know what, I'm going to go all out. So I called that very first contact back, and I made another mistake, but it didn't matter. I called them back, and the tone was, look, I'm all in on network marketing. I'm going to do whatever it takes, and I'm going to make 50 grand a month. Now, again, anyone can state whatever their goals are. If it's $100 a month, if it's just getting your auto ship for free, if it's the personal development, it doesn't matter what your goals are. I'm just telling you my story. I just want to make sure I clarify that. And I did a little bit too much hype at the beginning of just saying, I'm going to make 50 grand a month. And it was like, in my mind, that's just what I'm going to do. And even though I did it wrong at the very beginning, that first week when I went all out and took action, I called that first month 250 people.
Wow.
Of which 30 joined, so about 12% of people joined. And I think if I would have only called 30 people, I would have actually had less success. But because I started calling more people, I got more passionate. Yeah. I got a little bit better. I got more excited. And so people are like, man, you crushed it. I ended up doing $45,000 in sales because we were selling a really, really big kit. And that was in my first 3 weeks. That was part-time. At the time, my wife and I had 2 kids. I was running a tennis club, working 45 hours a week. I didn't know what I was doing. I said everything wrong. I couldn't present the business, so I would always funnel them into meetings or calls or webinars or tools, whatever I possibly could, just trying to get them in front of people. In fact, my first presentation, I presented in front of 2 people. I had my hands in my pocket. I'm naturally an introvert. I have extroverts part of, everybody has a part of them that's extrovert, but naturally I'm more of an introvert. I'd rather at a party talk to just 2 people and make, strong friendship than just go chit chat. I hate chit chat. I hate it. Then go talk to 30 people and have those surface fake relationships. And now I have to call all these people. And so I'm like spitting when I'm talking. I'm like whispering when I'm talking. That's how bad I was. But guess what? I took so much action that what most people would take 3 years to learn, I got to learn in a month.
Wow.
And so I just, the highs and the lows were like this. Most of the time for people, it's like this, right? And this, and this, and this. But then I learned from those mistakes. I learned from all those different issues and mistakes that I made of tricking people or overhyping or, making it like it was too easy when that doesn't do it as, that doesn't do anybody any good or any of that. I learned to be really straightforward with people. And I also learned to still sell my goals, whatever they were, and let them know that it's still about their goals. But then I let them know, hey, look, these are my goals. Your goals may be an extra $500 a month, 1,000, 10,000. It could be personal development. It could be you just love the product. You want to be a customer. You want to be around like-minded individuals. But then I followed it with this, and this made all the difference. It may take me 5 years, 7 years, 10 years to achieve those goals. It may take me much longer, but I'm going to do whatever it takes to achieve those goals. And so I started selling my goals, but I sold it with commitment because true passion is commitment. So it wasn't hype because I was realistic. This may take me a lot longer, but I'm going to do whatever it takes. Because most of the time you think people in network marketing, they're going to get in, they're going to be the hype guy, right? They're going to be that guy, and they're going to be in and it's like call me in 3 months when you're normal again, or call me in 3 months once you've quit because this is just a phase,
right?
Whatever it is. And I didn't want to be that. So then I followed it with to not be that guy with, look, if you take a look at this and you're not interested, then I'll never bother you again. And just so you know, we're still always friends and I'll never make it awkward. You can be straight up with me and tell me that's the stupidest thing you've ever done, Rob. And you can laugh at me and I'll laugh with you and I'll just say, how can I do better? Or do you know someone that would be interested in this? And because I was just so real with them and joked around where they didn't feel like it was going to be awkward, they were willing to take a look. And then I finished with, I'd never waste your time. It's worth your time taking a look. I think you're going to be interested, but if you're not, laugh at me, point me in the right direction, say no to me, let's go get lunch after, that's okay. And so rather than trying to figure out a way to kind of get around or anything like that, I just found with having that real authentic approach, which took me, that first week of just going through all this stuff in my head and what am I going to do and how am I going to say it. I still didn't know how to present at all, like not even a little bit. I was probably the worst presenter ever. My first year I was bad. But because of that approach, I got people to look. And because I took so much action, I was able to have success. It wasn't that I was great. It was that I took more action. And everybody talks about how this is network marketing. But in the back of everybody's minds, they hope it's net lottery ticket marketing. And I know that there's a high failure rate in anything entrepreneurial. But in real estate, even though there's a high failure rate, when people join real estate, they know that they're not going to make a lot of money unless they actually develop a skill set. In network marketing, they don't know that, most people. They know that if they develop a skill set, they will be successful, but they also in their minds know that if I just happen to find those 1 or 2 people, then I'll be successful. And that is the worst thing ever because they start trying to take shortcuts. They start hoping on things just happening. They start thinking about the dream of spending the money instead of, here's my dream, what am I going to do to achieve that dream? And our industry attracts the dreamers, which is great. That's a strength. But in every strength, there's also a great weakness. And the weakness is people aren't thinking a lot of times, how am I going to achieve that dream? And they're still hoping, even though they say, oh, I know it's work, I know it's work. And we know by their actions, they're not treated that way. And so I had it in the last story, and then I'll answer any questions you guys have. But, you know, it was a great experience for me. About 2 years in the industry, I finally, you know, I felt like I'd broken through. I'd had, you know, a good amount of success. And this guy reaches out to me that I hadn't talked to in about 12 years. And I was so excited to talk to him. He reaches out to me, and he's like, Rob, I just want to catch up with you. So we're shooting the breeze for about 30 minutes. And then after about 30 minutes into it, he's like, oh, by the way, I just became a financial advisor. And I just wanted to know if, you know, if you'd be interested at all in investing with me. And the thing I took from that was, yes, I felt used. I felt like, you know what, this is somebody that I was excited to catch up with. He didn't really care to catch up with me. And I thought, okay, that applies to network marketing as well. So how do we overcome that? How do we make it so we're not that guy like the insurance guy just happened to do and become? And I thought, you know what? If he would have just said to me right off the bat, Rob, I'd love to catch up with you, but I just want to be straight up. The real reason why I called is because I heard that you've been successful. I just got started in this new venture. I'm a financial advisor. You know, I'm looking for help. Maybe it's with you. Maybe it's with people you know. You know, I wanted to get that out. And then after, whether you're interested or not, let's just talk. You know, I'd love to catch up and stay in touch with you because it's been a while. This is my excuse for me to be able to reach out to everybody. The exact same thing that he wanted to accomplish, had he approached it that way, yeah, I would have been like mad props. Like I would have wanted to give him people. Who knows? I may even have used him. Even though his intentions were probably the same, the way that it was approached, yeah, I feel like he was that guy. And to be honest, I have not spoken to him since, and that was 6 years ago. Wow. So, you know, in 18 years, I talked to him once, and that was when I was excited to get hold of, he got a hold of me, and then to his detriment, he should have been reaching out to me every month or 2 months or 3 months, non-business related, after as a follow-up to show that he cares. And who knows, maybe a year or 2 or 3 years, we would have cultivated that relationship of trust again, and I would have at least referred somebody to him. And so that was kind of the learning lesson. I know you guys get the text every day. I just went on LinkedIn for the first time in I don't know how long, maybe 4 months, and I caught up on like, 50 messages, and I swear 35 of them were, hey, to increase your business, or I've got this incredible opportunity. Let me tell you why your opportunity is bad. That was literally one of them. Oh, wow. Like, great pitch, dude. Like, yeah. Great pitch. That's awesome. So, you know, I just saw all those messages. I'm like, when are people going to learn that networking is about creating the relationship first? And it's the whole quote that like 10 people, so I don't know who said it, but, you know, people don't care, you know, how much you know until they know how much you care. Right. And it's the truth, right? You guys, I know you guys said that, right? When 10 different people say it, can't we claim it?
One of those guys have said that, but there's so much value in what you just shared.
Oh my gosh, this is an awesome interview.
Though, by the way, Phone Caller is one of our chapters. It's on page 59. And, you know, I was telling Michelle just the other day, I got a message from somebody, hey, noticed you're in this group. Wanted to connect, right? And I'm like, all right, I'll give the guy the benefit of the doubt. So we connect, and so I asked like some personal questions, you know, married, kids, where are you from, this and that. He answers them all very short, maybe a question back. So we go back and forth a couple, and I'm just like, man, this smells like, you know, his intentions are not to connect. And then like a day later, oh, have you heard of this company? And I'm like, yes, I've heard. You know what I mean? And it's just like, if you're going to prospect, then prospect. But if you're going to connect, then connect. And don't get the two confused. Like, I know you got to build a relationship, but like, don't make it so obvious. Like, slow down. Yeah.
And just be straight up. Whatever you're going to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Man.
exactly.
But do you have any feedback?
Yeah, I love this interview. Thank you so much, Rob. So much wisdom. But the main thing that I get from this, and I absolutely love it, and I'm so impressed and blown away with your massive action. You know, there's no way that someone could get in and like go as fast as you did without stubbing a toe.
Yeah.
And like we did this book because we want to make sure people are equipped so they go out there and do it right. They get less rejection. But the fact is you don't want to sit there and study on how to do everything perfect before you go out and take action. Just take action and read as much as you can, learn from the leaders as much as you can, watch interviews like this,
Yeah.
you know, and so this has just blessed us so much. I know it's going to bless so many people that are going to watch this. It's going to be evergreen. And so this is just, it gives me just another solidification of why we're out here doing this.
Yeah.
Because I think people are just so afraid to do it wrong. But if we could equip them as much as possible on how to do it right, I think network marketing as a whole will have more success. But I mean, man, thank you so much for your contribution to this entire profession,
Yeah.
what you do for your team and your company. And I am just so ecstatic to get this this information out there to everybody, to the masses.
Yeah. So I just want to clarify, Rob straight up broke toes. He didn't stub toes.
Oh my
He
gosh.
broke toes.
Like, I'm like ready to like go and charge. I
Well,
was like, man.
Here, I have
that
a
is
question for
awesome.
you, Rob. But the reason why Michelle and I are really passionate about network marketing etiquette is because you don't hear it taught. You hear about fundamentals, what to say, the systems, and all the three-way call. You hear about the fundamentals. You hear about personal growth and development, about renewing your mind. But we think network marketing etiquette is a gap. Like, we've never seen it trained on. It's really not trained on from the front of the room. It's learned the hard way, like the way Rob learned it. And so I want to kind of wrap it up because we want to keep these short, but I want to end with this. Why is it that we're the only profession in the world that tries to hide the title of what we do? And I know you agree with some of the new school methods. The old school teaching in network marketing is don't let them know it's network marketing. Like, let them find out later after they join, you know?
After they see
So
it.
why is it that we're the only profession in the world that tries to hide what we do? Because if someone's trying to talk to me about something and I know they're hiding something, that just doesn't establish trust for me. I just don't trust them. And I think that we have a lot of work to do in this profession. And so share a little bit about why you think that is. And if Michelle has some feedback,
Yeah, go ahead.
would love for people to comment, share, tag your team, however you can get this out there, because we've got to raise and elevate this profession. And by sharing some stories like this, we're definitely making an impact. So appreciate you being here.
Absolutely. I think, it started with, I won't name companies or teams or anything like that, but, it started a long, long time ago, as we know. It was, trick people, do these like at-home barbecues and different things like that. Years before I was born, actually, it started. Yeah. And I think because of that, that also started the process of, network marketing. People were doing that. Anytime someone sees somebody else have success, they copy. I think the other thing is like I alluded to earlier, or talked about earlier, is because we attract a lot of dreamers. People get in with expectations of false hope, and a lot of people have given false hope, unfortunately. And anytime something good happens, I've heard this, I don't know, I've heard different stats, but I've heard anytime something positive happens, we tell 3 people. Something negative happens, we tell 20 people. So you can imagine when you're attracting dreamers, anytime somebody had an expectation of making some obscene amount of money without maybe the work ethic, maybe they had the wrong company, product, I don't know, whatever the reasons are, it doesn't matter. After that, they started telling people. And so slowly but surely it started adding up where people, a lot of people, or too many people, I should say. Of course, there are always a ton of people, founding network marketers that have always done it right. There are too many people that were doing it wrong because it wasn't regulated. People would say whatever they wanted, especially before internet. How do you track who said what anywhere? And so because of that, people, I remember seeing flyers from a long, long, long time ago in the 80s and early 90s that people still have that kept, where they're just like, hey, call me, take $100,000 a month. What? Like, and so that started happening. Like people look at it, and you lose when you over promise, under deliver. you lose credibility.
Yes.
And we have one of the most untrained professions, right, as a whole. There's a lot of great teams and groups you guys train, and there's so many other great companies and teams that do it as well. But there's so many people that, you know, it's an untrained profession in many ways, and that's why I love all the new books that are coming out. I love all the new, you know, different conferences, educational stuff, because I do feel like it is turning a corner, and that's important. So I think that's it. And I love what you said, you know, just be straight up, because if you're tricking people, they're going to think they have to trick people. And if you're doing something, be proud of it. When someone asks me, like, is that network marketing? I used to be scared. What do I say? Now I say, oh yeah, if it weren't, I probably wouldn't even touch it. And they look at me like, what? I'm like, well, yeah, if, like, everybody loves network marketing. They look at me like, no, they don't. I'm like, well, done right, done wrong, it's your greatest nightmare. And then I validate what they're thinking. I'm like, yeah, like saying this, or, you know, we go through that, be that guy, you can go through all those things, like, oh yeah, but done right, if you got a legitimate product or service, a legitimate company around positive, like-minded people, that's like your greatest dream. And they're like, I'm like, so yeah, anything done wrong. I'm like, that's like playing NBA. If you're playing on the worst team, it's like basketball sucks. But if you're playing on, you know, with the Cavs or the Warriors, you're like, I love this. This is fun. Like, same sport, right?
Yeah.
Same industry. And so, you know, a lot of times I try to relate it that way, but I agree 100%. I think it's just find a way to be proud and communicate, validate their concerns, because some of their concerns are correct. Some people have done it wrong, but say, done right, it's phenomenal, and we're going to show you how we do it right. So come check it out. If you're not interested, that's great.
That's good.
That's fine. We're still friends, but come check it out. I'm going to show you how we do it differently.
That's so good. I can't wait to like go through the recording and like take notes, because I'm going to adopt a lot of your scripts. And I think
we're going to steal it.
we're going to steal it and put our. That's
it was yours. I learned it from you guys anyway. So we're good.
But you know why I love it also is because nowadays people that come into network marketing, they think they could skip their warm market because they just don't want to go there. And I think if you say exactly what you say to your people that you shared with all of us, I mean, people have to they got to have more respect for that, and they're going to be more open than doing it the other way. So, man, I am really excited to adopt what you shared with us. And I know that people are going to love you that are seeing this. So how can they get in touch with you? What's your Facebook page so they could start following your videos, your website? And
so my website is robsperry.com. It is actually being worked on as we speak, but it still is up and going. And you'll start seeing in about here soon a ton of content being posted. I've got all the topics and everything laid out, so I'm really excited. And then you can find me on Facebook, just my name. So if you do Rob L. Sperry for fan page, you can find me there, or Rob Sperry is you follow me on Facebook, just my regular page. I'm pretty responsive. I always try to respond to as many people as possible. I've got an abundance mentality. I think there's always enough to go around. I actually love the fact that, you know, throughout my career, obviously there's always people that part ways. I've got 10 people I'm helping mentor that are in different companies, and they probably will never be in my company. I don't care. Like, I hope everybody would do that. That was a challenge that was put on me when I started this industry is you know, you can tell people who you are, but why don't you show them by supporting them, even if you don't make money on them? And so there's that. And then the last thing I'd say is I got 2 books coming out. One will be on how to never run out of contacts. And it's just talking about the art of taprooting, and that'll be an ebook that will come out in about a month. And so I'm excited about that. It's done. I'm just finalizing some things. And then I've got my main book I've been working on for about 7 years, which is called The Game of Networking. And kind of like how you guys took your take of nobody talks about this, my take was another topic nobody talks about is what's the formula for networking? Like, everybody talks about how to invite, how to close, how to follow up, how to prospect, cold contact, all that stuff. But if you ask anyone in any profession, I've asked some of the best networkers in the world, you tell me in 30 seconds, what are your 3 or 4 steps how to network? And they look at you like, and if they tell you steps, the next time you talk to them, they're different steps. And so I spent 7 years like compiling everything, reading literally hundreds of books, every book I read with those intentions of, you know, what is it? What is it? And then I finally felt like I came up with what that formula is, and then went and tested it out with a ton of leaders and made sure that there was nothing missing, and then created a lot of stories in that. I'm really excited about it. And so that'll come out sometime next year. And so, that's what I would say. So I appreciate you guys having me on. It's an honor to be the very, very, very first one. And I'm sure we're going to be getting on several more times as I have some, as you guys have some, as we talk about different topics and that sort of thing. And so I appreciate what you guys are doing for the industry, especially creating content for a specific niche that has not been created as far as etiquette, but in a way that it's not just etiquette, it's etiquette that will teach and train you to become better, which is very, very unique. So thank you both for having me on. I appreciate it.
God bless you, man. Thanks for being on. And for those of you watching, please comment, share, and tag us with people that you know. Spread the word so we can elevate the profession together. And we'll see you guys later. Cheers to your freedom.